Hello everyone, Glenda Mollet here, and I'm in my craft room stamping with you today, and I'm going to show you how to create this Darling Donkey Fun Fold card. So when you open it up, it shows the inside, this cute donkey. Isn't this stamp set adorable? Okay, Celebration 2021, free at the $60 mark. Darling Donkey's stamp set. We're going to use all of the images. The only thing I'm not using today is You're the Best. I'm also using the hippo dies, and I'm using the two largest circular ones. I'm using Painted Textures embossing folder and the messages dies. The colors I'm using is Blackberry Bliss, Soft Suede, and Pool Party for the ink. The cardstock is Mango Melody and Whisper White. So we have two pieces of Mango Melody. One is 5.5 by 7 3/4, scored at 4 1/4. The big side is the front, and the small side is the inside moving piece. Then we have a piece that is 5.5 by 8 1/4, and it is scored at 1/2, 4 1/8, and 4 5/8. And then a 4x4 piece to cut out the largest die from the hippo dies. And I've already done that. For the inside, we need a piece of Whisper White. Oops. Sorry. Whisper White that is 5 1/4 by 3 3/8. Nope, that's the wrong piece. This one. 5 1/4 by 3 3/8. And a piece that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. It's not Whisper White, it's Basic White. An envelope, a Basic White envelope. And for the front, 5 1/4 by 4, and I've already embossed this with the Painted Texture embossing folder. All right, so I've put some little notes on my cardstock so that I don't forget how to do it, and you guys kind of get a visual. So I'm just holding that down because it tends to pop open. Okay, so this is scored at 4 1/4, and then I've just used my bone folder and burnished it. And then this one has 3 score lines, and we're going to fold those and burnish them. So this is at 1/2 inch, and then 4 1/8. And 4 5/8. Make sure you use your bone folder to make the creases nice and crisp, because that'll help the card stay flat. Okay, there we go. Okay. So step 1, we need to create the hole on the inside. So I need the piece. Where did I put it? This piece. Yep. Okay, that's the wrong size. This is the one I cut. Look at that. It's okay. I scored and marked the wrong one. This is the one. So 1/2 inch. 4 1/8, and 4 5/8. Okay, we'll be fine. I'm going to put my little cheat notes on here before I get carried away, so I don't forget how to put this together. And this, if you do this, this will just help you kind of figure out where things need to go. Okay, do our scoring again. And when I do this, I'm really pushing down so that you get nice, crisp, clean folds. Come on. And as you saw, I use my score tool to do my scoring when I'm doing 3D items and anything that has a moving part to it, because you get more accurate scoring that way than if you use your paper trimmer, which is good if you're just scoring in half, but in this instance we're not. Okay, so this fits now, and we're going to put it right over top of where I wrote hole. And I'm just going to get my Stampin' Seal. Now, don't put adhesive in the center. You only want it around the outside, because we're going to use the piece that we cut out of the center to stamp the donkey on for the front. So there we go. And layer it over the part that says hole, which is the part that is closest to the first score line. You want it between the 1/2 inch score and the 4 1/8 inch score. Okay, now get my cutting plate and the smaller of the two dies, and this one is going to go on here, of course upside down because you need the cutting down, and you want to put it up towards the top so you still have room to write happy birthday, and just make sure it's centered sideways, so, and kind of straight. Okay, this one I'm just going to turn. I think I'll use it this way this time, because I like these dies. They let you give you a little bit of creativity freedom. Okay, so when I roll this through the cutting and embossing machine, I'm going to go slowly so that the die gets a chance to cut through both layers. So the slower you go, the better your cut will be. Okay, take that off and take the die. Now you're probably going to say to yourself, well, that didn't cut through, but it does. And all you need to do is just pop it out. See, just needs a bit of persuasion to come out, and it's perfect. That's because I went slow enough to allow the die time to cut. Now separate the white and the Mango Melody. It's going to be a little difficult to get it started because those stitch lines hold it together, but once you get it started, it comes apart. It comes apart. There we go. So there's the piece. This, save it for another project. We don't need it because we need the next size up, because these are going to layer like that. So I'm just going to put this to the side because that's for on the front. Okay, so we have our inside. Now I'm going to get my Pool Party ink and the little starbursty images, and just give it some texture and some interest around the outside of that frame randomly, which doesn't really happen in my world, but there you go. That's good enough. You get the idea. Okay, now it's time to put some adhesive and get this together. So you want adhesive where the X's are, and it's going to attach where the X's are on the left side of this fold. Now the big side is your card front, and the small side is the part on the inside that gets pulled back and forth. Can you see it there? It has to be smaller or it will bind. Okay, so put some Stampin' Seal Plus right onto, let me get my Stampin' Seal Plus working, right onto that edge, that 1/2 inch scored edge there. And I'm using the Plus because it has more stickability than the regular Stampin' Seal does. Now, just lay this right against that fold there, flat, and just close your card on it. So this way, by having it on this edge of the fold rather than this edge of the fold, you won't get binding when it's moving back and forth. And by laying it down and closing this on top, that gives the cardstock a chance to push it out of the way so that it doesn't bind. Now, just make sure you're straight here and here, that your pieces line up. Just check it. There we go. Okay. And now I'm going to let go with my right hand so that it allows this a chance to move the cardstock out of the way and where it needs to be. And then when you open it, there you go. It's attached. And because it's flat, we can just do our burnishing and make sure that there's enough adhesion. So this one is eventually going to get folded back and attached with Seal Plus as well, but we need to put the donkey on the inside. So we have a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 inch piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp the kicking donkey on the inside. This donkey set, I'm telling you, it is the cutest thing. And I'm going to ink this up really well because I noticed earlier today that my soft suede needs re-inking and I didn't do it. There we are. Let's give that a... And when you're doing this, hold your block like this and run your finger like across it like this, because then if you get any ink around the outside of your stamp, you won't get that halo effect, because you've done it right, and I moved it when I was telling you about it, so I'm just going to do it again. That's why there's 2 sides to a piece of cardstock. There we go. Okay. Now, oh, sometimes that ink pad doesn't want to close. Now, Blackberry Bliss and Hee Haw, and you want to stamp this pretty close to the donkey so that it's not covered by the hole. There we are. And I'm going to put It's Your Birthday on there as well. Just right down here. There we go. That's done. Okay, so now we're going to put some Stampin' Seal on here. Oops. Having some issue with some glue that's on that side. Okay, now you take your card and open it up and kind of do a trial run with this. Don't push your adhesive down until you close this on it and get an idea of where it's going to be, because you've got moving. So this is a little close over that way, so I'm going to lift it up, which is why I love Stampin' Seal, because it lifts. It doesn't just automatically go down and stay down. There's movability. Okay, do it once more. Oh, it's got it way too high. Okay, just do this. And there, now I got it too low, because you can see some of the Mango Melody at the top. I'm sorry this is so fussy, but if you're going to do it right. There we go. So it's going to work like this. Now I'll just push it down. I have to get rid of that little bit of adhesive right there, or it's going to bind my card up. And there's that adhesive eraser that Carolyn was talking about today, a lifesaver. I was told by somebody the other day that if you take a piece of old carpet and rub this on it, the carpet will take off all those yucky parts of the adhesive balls. Okay, so we've got our card now, and it's looking pretty good, and it closes, and there's adhesive on the front, which isn't a big deal because we're covering that. Okay, so now we're going to put adhesive on. Okay, we have this. So now we go to the back, and you're going to put adhesive on here. So this is where the hole is. This is where your kicking donkey is. And you want adhesive right along this edge. So I'm just using Stampin' Seal Plus again because you want good adhesion. And you take your card. Oh my, there's even glue back here. Take your card, lay it flat, make sure you've got your front tucked under. Then this is going to lay flat, and I've got my fingers in here to stop it from attaching to itself. And then once you've got it all flat, then do that. And if you lay it flat like this, then you know that your card is going to fit flat in your envelope. So there we are. There's the moving part of the card. And the inside layer is free floating. Okay, so on the front, 5 1/4 by 4 basic white cardstock embossed with the painted texture embossing folder, which is also new. And we're just going to put that right onto the card front. And you can use either side of this embossed paper. It doesn't matter. There's no right side or wrong side to this embossing folder, which is cool. Okay, now we'll take that extra die cut that I had you do, and we'll just put a Stampin' Seal on here, and we're going to put this flat onto the front. And I'm going to leave it up high enough so I can put a sentiment on the bottom. There we go. Get this piece and my dirty paper so I don't get my grid paper all dirty. And we're going to take the donkey with the rose, ink this up, and that way I think is good. Stamp the donkey. And I'm using soft suede ink again. And then need the dark Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to color the stem and the leaves. And dark Mango Melody so that it matches the cardstock. Let's do the rose. There we are. Now, in the demonstration I put Wink Costello on his teeth. You just have to be careful you don't reactivate the ink and give him brown teeth. Donkeys have brown teeth, but not on my card. And then I'm just going to put some on the flower too. There we go. Okay, that's done. Now we need Pool Party again. And those starbursty things. And let's go around the outside of them. There we are. Now this goes flat on top of the Mango Melody one that we already put on there. Right, like that. And then the sentiment. So I've got another one of the ones from the Messages stamp set. I love, or Messages dies. I love the dies. Oh my god. And I can't wait to order my other one. I haven't done it yet. And then I'm going to cut that stamp set apart so I can use the sentiments independently of each other. There we go. Oh, didn't ink that up very good. Oh well. Now, dimensionals. Like that. Bring our card back in. And that goes down here. Like that. Now you can get carried away and you can put or embellishments and all sorts of stuff on there, but in the interest of time, I'm going to take the soft suede again, and then the final donkey is this little sitting down one. But it's so cute. And just stamp him on the envelope. And then what I always do before I finished my card is I always stamp my name on the back. Now this stamp I got probably 14 years ago when Stampin' Up! Used to make them. It's so old the label's not on it anymore, so I have to check it every time, make sure which way is up. Do it over here. And I just stamp. And it has the copyright that we need on it. And that way I don't have to worry about whether when it comes time to sell these cards or even give them away, because when I send a card to somebody, I never write on the inside. I always put a post-it note in there so that they can share it with somebody else and make somebody else's day. And then there's your advertising on the back. Okay, so I've got a little bit of time, so I think I'm just going to put some rhinestones on here because it's really quite plain and it needs a little bit of something. So let's just stick a few rhinestones on here just to make him a little bit blingy. There we go. So there you go. There's the, I can't remember what Miran called it. I don't remember. I will get a hold of Miran and ask her what she called this fold before so that I can post the name for you. So there we go. There's the card. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Van Isle January 2021 virtual event. It was an awesome day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stampin' Smiles, and bye for now.